Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cusack Park, Ennis, for this round 3 senior hurling championship game between Clooney Quin and Feakle. Both teams coming in on the back of one victory and one defeat. Clooney Quin beaten in the first round after extra time by Ballyea before recording a good win 2 weeks ago in the second round. Feakle, on the other hand, victorious down in 6 Mile Bridge against Newmarket in round 1 before being defeated here in Cusack Park by Crusheen in round 2. I'm joined here by Seamus Hayes as we look forward to this game. And Seamus, it's I suppose an interesting game and one that can go either way.
Yeah, it certainly is an interesting game, and I suppose interest in increased by the fact that they met on the same stage 2 years ago, and on that occasion Feakle looked to be home and dry, and Clooney Quinn refused to give up and got a goal in injury time to force extra time, which they won, and subsequently went on to contest the county final. And I suppose they feel a little disappointed last year with their performance. Last year they went out of the championship earlier, so they'll want to get back into a challenging position for the title, whereas Feakle obviously will want to avenge that result 2 years ago, because they're still shocked at the way that game finished.
And that's it, I suppose. When we look at the track record over the last few years, you had Clooney contesting the county final 2 years ago, but if we go back 4, you had Feakle in a semi-final before being relegated the following year, bouncing back straight last year, and now they're an hour away from being back in a quarter-final.
That's right, yeah, and they have played some great hurling at times. Disappointed, I suppose, particularly with their second half performance last time out. They faded after a good first half, and that's something that they'll have to correct this week. Strong win this evening could have a big impact on the game. I suppose you'll see Peter Duggan when Clooney have the win, dropping maybe back into his own full backline to take frees, such as his capability to take long range frees, and that could have a big bearing on the game. But it has all the ingredients of a really exciting contest that there should be very little between them at the finish.
And I suppose before we went live today, we spoke with both sets of management team, Michael Guilfoyle, the manager of Feakle, and Pat Markham, a selector with Clooney. So we're going to hear from them there now. I'm joined here by Feakle manager Michael Daly. Mike, I suppose it'd be fair to say you had a great round victory in round 1. You performed very well in the first half of round 2. Was slightly disappointed, I suppose, with your second half, and maybe the main emphasis for today would be to put a full 60-minute performance in.
Yeah, first day was brilliant. We achieved and retained our status. The second day was very disappointing. While the second half was poor by our standards and only getting a point in the second half, we feel we lost the game at half time, because Crusheen scored 220 overall. They'd won 10 at half time, and with 2 minutes to go in the game, they got 1-2 at the end. So we had them held to 8 points. So our first half performance was poor, playing with the wind. So it'll be important what happens with the toss today.
And that's it's a bit, I suppose, windy here now today, with a circle a bit more sudden advantage than anybody else. So the start could be important for both teams, given I suppose both you have one win, one lost, and for confidence point of view, it's important to get a good start.
Yeah, if we go in the toss, we're going to play with the wind and see how it goes. And we need to work the ball through the lines better. The last day we just drove it up the pitch, and they're a loose man and cleaned it up every time. So if we don't play it smart, it'll be driven back down the pitch every time. So we need to play smarter when we have possession with the ball.
And I suppose on the back of the intermediate victory last year and building on the victory over Newmarket, that a victory today would be a big statement for me in terms of you were semi-finalists, I suppose, about 4 years ago, that you went down the following year, came straight back up, and now if you're able to get back into a quarter-final, you'll be back in the mix of the last 8 in the draw on Monday.
Yeah, it was 2016 semi-final performance, good run against Ballyea, down in 17, up in 18 again. We've seen it today. The Mills are in the same position. Great semi-final last year. They're in the relegation final this year. When you go on a roll like that, it's very hard to get off it. But that's not our focus. Our focus is today. Love to get to the quarter-final. It would be 2 of our 3 aims for 2019 to be achieved. The other one we didn't achieve was getting to the Cup quarter-final, but we're safe. So from that perspective, we'll still be playing top-class hurling next year in Clare.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Mike, and best of luck today. Cheers. I'm joined here now by Pat Markham, a selector on the Clooney Quinn team. Pat, I suppose you've had a mixed year. You started very well in the first round against Ballyea. Maybe were in a position, I suppose, to see it out. Unfortunately didn't, but have come back strong, I suppose, in the second round and got your victory, which sees you here today against Feakle.
Yeah, look, we're delighted to be here to get a second chance. Disappointed sure the first day, needless to say, against Ballyea. I suppose their experience told at the end of it, and maybe an extra time. So look, we were lucky. Things went our way the last day against Clare Castle. So look, which is great to be looking forward to playing Feakle today now. Just setting either team up for a quarter final.
And I suppose that's it at the start of the year. The first aim is to get to a quarter final, and whether that's through the straight route or the background route, but the most important thing would be to qualify and to be there in the final 8.
Well, look at it, I suppose for a lot of clubs the first thing is avoid relegation, and we've been here 2 years ago where we played Feakle and we were in, you know, maybe a minute of going into the relegation battle, and look at the year went on after that. So we know we're under no illusion today. Look at, I suppose the pressure is off from the relegation viewpoint, but still, you know, both teams want to make a quarter final, and that's what you're aiming for.
And I suppose looking at your performances today, you've put in, as I say, some excellent performances maybe, but not quite for the 60 minutes. So would the focus be on trying to put a full performance together today, and then that leading you on to 2 weeks' time?
Well, that's the aim starting off every game anyway. You know, look at we're trying to get the lads together, get a settled team. It's not easy with lads in college and everything as well during the year for the Clare Cup and that. So I suppose the first day against Ballier we're trying our panel out, and again the last day against Clarecastle. So hopefully we have 15-20 lads organised and ready for today, and we'll see how it goes.
Perfect. Thanks very much for that, Pat, and best of luck today.
Thank you.
So listening to both managers there, Seamus, I suppose both of them spoke about the fact that there's a need for a 60-minute performance here today if they're going to come out of it. They have played in patches, I suppose, reasonably well over the past 2 games, but it will take a performance over 60 minutes to get through today.
Yeah, it certainly will, and you know, both realise that you're at a stage of the championship now where there are no more second chances, and it's, you know, it's do or die from here on in. So I'm sure that both will have thought of that in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I see, you know, there were doubts coming into the game. Both sides had doubts, injury doubts, and the players who were doubtful are all lining out, are all starting at least. So, you know, that's an indication of how serious the teams are taking it from here on in. But they will both need, as you say, 60-minute performances and maybe 65-minute performances if they're going to be in the draw tomorrow night for the quarterfinals.
And that's, I suppose, a reflection of the fact that today is the first day where there's no second chances. You're either in the championship or you're out of the championship in an hour and a quarter time, and there's no point holding back. That you need to try and get the result here today to put you in that draw for 2 weeks' time.
That's correct, and that's why I'd say, you know, players that are able to move at all, you know, will play even if they're carrying any kind of slight knocks. If they're needed, they're going to give their all in the day, and they'll answer the call if they're called in, because nobody wants their season to end today, should we say, and they all want to be going home from here, looking ahead to the draw on Monday night and looking ahead to training again on Tuesday night probably.
Thanks very much, Seamus. So we've had I suppose an intriguing hour and a quarter ahead of us, and we're now going to hand up to our commentary box to Leo Doyle and to David Reedy, who's on analyst duty for today. So Leo, over to you, and you can go through the teams.
Thanks, Sean, and thanks to Seamus. And as you said, I'm joined here in commentary by Clare star, a dual star really, a man of many talents, David Reedy. David, who's also a member of has won stuff with LIT, has just completed his master exam. So tis all go. David, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. No, it's a pleasure to be here, and we're hoping for a big top quality game.
And we'll give you the 2 teams. The Clooney Quinn team in goals is Keith Hogan. The full back line is Brian McInerney, Feakle Lynch and Rory McNamara. Donica Murphy, Shane McNamara and Conor Harrison make up the half back line. In the middle of the field is Mike Curry and Ryan Taylor. James Curry, Peter Duggan and Alan Cuddigan is the half forward line, with Ronan O'Donnell, Killian Duggan and Martin Duggan the full forward line. And the Feakle team line out as follows. In goals is number 1 is Ever Quilligan. James Noonan, Evan McMahon and Colm Nocton is the full back line. Killian Bain, Owen Toohey and Eric Conway is the half back line. Shane McGrath and Con Smith are named in the middle of the field. Stephen Conway, Oisin Donlan and Gary Gilfoyle are the half forward line, with Inda Noonan, Raymond Bain and Austin McMahon making up the full forward line. And we've also got some messages in already from Cameron Smith to say come on Feakle, and the SM Savages who are saying come on Clooney Quinn. So we also have a message in from the Cucullen pub in Chicago from Rasher O'Brien there and all his troops. I know a number of the Feakle lads were out there and won a championship there in the summer. You're celebrating your 25th year anniversary. So to all the boys in Chicago, you're welcome here to our YouTube channel of ClareGAA TV. And we also have to say hello to the Flanagans in Douglas in Cork, the Flanagans who are the in-laws of Clooney Quinn, right half back, Donica Murphy. And also say hello to Michael Corbett from Clooney, who's on his way to Roscommon and couldn't make the game. As I said at the outset there, as Sean said, we're joined by David Reedy of Erogue, who's our analyst today. David, your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, I suppose there's going to be a few key battles, and one surprising key battle you might pick out is Keith Hogan and Ever Quilligan. They're two top quality goalkeepers, and their puck out strategy is going to be key. There's a strong wind from the town end down into the old scoreboard end, and puck outs against and with the wind is going to be a key feature today, and it could even decide who's going to come out on top. Another key battle is who's going to pick up Peter Duggan. Will O'Tuohy stay centre back and pick him up. Peter is Clooney's go-to man with freeze and general play, and it's going to be a key battle today.
Yeah, indeed. There's lots of key battles. I see the round in the middle is Neil O'Brien, Feakle Lynch, who was the Clare under minor manager this year, done a great job in getting Clare to a Munster final. They came to within 2 points of eventual All-Ireland champions Galway. Feakle, who normally plays in the forward line, has been for a number of years for Clooney, now back playing full back. Oisin Donlan, the Feakle captain. Your thoughts on Feakle Lynch going back as a full back, David?
Yeah, when I heard it first, I was a small bit surprised, but it makes sense. He's a big, strong, physical man, and he's well capable of winning high balls when high balls are pumped down into the square. There's no better man in the air than Feakle Lynch, and he's a rock back there.
Yeah, and indeed, Feakle, before the match starts, as the two teams go into their huddle, you got off to a good start yourself today. Got today off to a good start, a good 2-point win for you over Newmarket.
Yeah, it was a physical game. I suppose we started off the game poorly. We were playing with the wind, and we just never got going. Although we grabbed two goals, and that kind of gave us a 1-point lead into half time. Second half we came out, it was like a different team, and we went back to basics. We worked as hard as we could. Got the forwards were unbelievable. They were blocking the ball, hooking, and it just made it difficult for Newmarket to play out from defence. And I suppose that's the where I see the difference was today.
And indeed, David, as tis knockout from here on in, there's no, it's all winners, losers go out, and I suppose that's what is the beauty of the Clare Championship. Like, that you got your couple of games, but from here on in, it's do or die. Looking at Feakle, the last day they didn't really perform in the second half against Crusheen. They'll be hoping to up the NT a good bit here today.
Yeah, it's going to be a key battle. It's, I suppose, when the ball is on the ground, it's going to be who wins that ball is going to be. It's going to be hectic.
Indeed, and we have Norma de Warren Kuhn, Le Auran Nevian. And Shannon Craig are on Naveen as both teams take up their positions, and Keith Hogan and Clooney, he's defending the LD goals. Clooney in their green jersey with red hoops, Feakle in their yellow jersey with green hoops, and Eva Quilligan mounting the goal at the town end. And the first ball in from Peter Duggan, an early start, lobbing the ball in around the square. Here, and the ball is inside for the Feakle fullback, the corner forward. It breaks out. He's looking for Martin Duggan. Martin Duggan looking for Ron O'Donnell. O'Donnell, who was a goal machine when he came there for a couple of years ago, to Killian Duggan. Killian, who normally plays in the back, is also a very accomplished golfer. Gets the ball out the wing, out towards Austin McMahon. Austin McMahon and Conor Harrison. Harrison leaves the ball. The ball goes out to Inda Noonan playing out in the 40, switch off from the corner. A ball in towards the corner, in, and here comes the fullback. Is it Feakle Lynch going out to Feakle Lynch, and he's been chased by Stephen Conway. Stephen, who has recovered from injury, take his place there. The ball comes out to Rory McNamara. Rory McNamara switches the ball across towards Conor Harrison. Conor Harrison playing wing, being chased by Austin McMahon. Get the ball down, looking down for Ron O'Donnell. Ron O'Donnell gets out in front of Noonan. O'Donnell, he's a lively corner forward, playing 50 yards out now, 70 yards off from his goal. Hits across the middle, looking for Ellen Culligan, but the ball is cut out by Gary Gilfile. Gilfile gives the ball to Owen Toohey. A member of the Clare scene of Helen this year. Here comes Owen, trying to get away. He's going to be robbed by James Curry, but the ball comes back to Owen Toohey, back to Gilfile. Gilfile kind of playing more or less as a sweeper. The ball goes down towards Conway. Bruiser does well. Feakle Lynch gets the ball out to Rory McNamara. Rory gets the ball, but it comes out to McGrath. McGrath comes to Oisin Donlan. Oisin Donlan, a poor strike from Oisin Donlan, and goes into the hands of Keith Hogan. We said Keith defending the goals at the LD end. He gets his ball out, looking for O'Donnell. O'Donnell comes on to a good bit the ball very early. Gets out ahead of James Noonan. Here comes Ron O'Donnell. Gets it back to Harrison. Harrison going to put the ball into space. Lobs this ball in and top, looking for Killian Duggan and Evan McMahon. Duggan puts up the hand, gets the ball, brings the ball down to ground. Evan McMahon trying to get in for Feakle. The ball is there with Culligan. Culligan trying to get in, trying to break the ball out. Killian Duggan trying to get in. Gary Gilfile comes in, trying to clean up, getting the ball out to Ryan Taylor. Ryan Taylor comes out, but there in the middle of the field, it's gone to the centre forward. Peter Duggan being robbed by Con Smith. Smith, who's sticking close to Peter Duggan, gets the ball down, but it's already gone down into space, down to Harrison. Harrison delivers the ball again, a quick lovely ball in towards Martin Duggan. Duggan gets a first chance, gets out to Killian Duggan and Martin Duggan, and there's the first score of the game for Clooney. David Reedy, Martin Duggan.
Yeah, great score. I suppose we've seen a tactic already from Clooney that they're going long into Killian Duggan, and that was the switch that was made between at the start of the year, with Fergal Lynch going full back and Killian Duggan going full forward.
Yeah, indeed, it worked well, and the ball broke down from Martin Duggan. Martin, who's back from his sabbatical in London, gets the first score of the game. 1 point for Clooney. The ball pucked out from Evan Quilligan. He was gone for the quick one, but the ball was held back by Neil O'Brien. So here he comes again. The ball in towards Raymond Bain. Bain trying to get the ball for Feakle. Gets the ball into Shane McGrath. Shane McGrath, another man who was recovered from injury to play today, coming trying to take a shot from Shane McGrath. A shot off his right hand side, and that's a good equaliser from Shane McGrath. And Feakle are going to need an awful lot more from the likes of Shane McGrath, David.
Yeah, Shane's a great player. He's out. I think he's out centre forward, and he's getting on a good bit of ball. Great score from under the stand.
And as David Reedy says, it's Clooney who are going very direct. The ball from Harrison in towards Killian Duggan. Killian Duggan, hooped at centre back for Clare when the Monday months under 21 finding in Waterford back in 2009. Gets the ball back to Alan Culligan. Culligan shoots off his right hand side over the bar. David, it's a very simple game. Win the ball and lay it off.
It's as simple as if you can do that every time, but I think the longer the game goes on, it's going to go into more of a dogfight. And
the puck out from Evan Quilligan finds Stephen Conway. Is he going to have a run at Fergal Lynch? And he's held up, being fouled by Fergal Lynch. And a free given there by Neil O'Brien. Fergal Lynch pleads he's innocent there, but I think Fergal is trying to claim to the line ball. Free given on Stevie Conway. I presume Feakle have Stevie, who has an ankle injury, but he's fit to take his place inside, trying to bring Fergal Lynch up for run. It's going to be free for Shane McGrath. Shane McGrath, who has been the Feakle top scorer for many years, central to their success. And Feakle in fact got to the Munster Intermediate, won the Clare Intermediate Championship last year here, where McGrath scored, I think, was it 18 points today against Tubber. They went on to reach the Munster Intermediate final. Unfortunately, on that day the Charleville challenge came, and they just lost out at the end. Here's a one for a free. There's a shot from McGrath, 50 yards off, right out in the sideline, over the bar, 2 points all. And David, it's the first time I ever saw a man taking a free, and there was no one between him and the goalie from 45 yards.
Yeah, it was a difficult free as well, right on the sideline, 45 yards out on the sideline. Great score.
And the ball is bucked up by Keith Hogan. It comes to Austin McMahon, but the ball is brought down to Shane McNamara, and the blocker comes out. Here comes McNamara, pops a lovely ball after Ryan Taylor, who made his championship debut for Clare this year. Here comes Taylor coming through for Clooney. He's gone in straight into 21, a shot from Ryan Taylor, and that's a very good point, straight through the middle from Ryan Taylor. And indeed, David, I know you won on the panel yourself this year due to studies, but Taylor, more than a capable deputy.
Most definitely, he has some pace about him, and you could just seen that the way he broke through the half back line, kept going, and he got into nearly the 14. Just if he kept the shot a bit lower, he could have got a goal.
Yeah, and the puck out coming from Evan Quilligan. 3 points for Clooney Quinn, 2 points for Feakle, and the ball is off with Conor Harrison coming up for Clooney. He's robbed there by Gary Gilfile, a strong man coming through the middle, and he's going to pop the pass off to Shane McGrath, but it comes to Inda Noonan. Inda playing a bit of basketball there. It comes back to Gilfile trying to get it up. As David, you said off commentary, the pitch is quite sticky. We'll get your thoughts in a minute. Conor Harrison gets the ball out, going to come out to Austin McMahon. McMahon gets it, but leaves it to Gilfile playing well at the start here for Feakle. Gets a good ball out to Shane McGrath. The Clooney lads are claiming line, not gone over. Shane McGrath turns off his left hand side, and the ball goes wide. Shane, you will remember the Oak team that beat Newmarket earlier. Your thoughts on the conditions of the pitch?
Yeah, from the stand I suppose it looks like a carpet, but there is a small bit of sand, and it kind of was digging up after the first 15 minutes of our game. At the start, a quick puck out from Keith Hogan now, and Killian Duggan has the ball.
Yeah, and Hogan gives the ball out to Culligan. Culligan, who has started well for Clooney, already has 1 point in the board, being battled up by Feakle. He overcarries it, and a free out for Feakle. Is Ever Quilly going to take it? No, he's going to leave this one to Owen Toohey, the centre back. It's 40 yards out from the Feakle goal. A quick one out to Oisin Donnan. Oisin made the space. Oisin strike it off his right hand side. This one is gone in. Is it going to go all the way? And a shot has gone to the left hand side and gone wide. The breeze blowing directly down the field in favour of Feakle in the first half, and the sun is in the eyes of the Clooney goalkeeper Keith Hogan. And as As David said, Keith Hogan and Ever Quilligan were both members of Clare underage teams from here. Ever had the nod at minor level, but Hogan took the nod over 121 level and went on to play a leading role in winning a number of All-Irelands. The ball broke to Taylor. Here comes Taylor, a man with serious pace as he gets away from Killian Bain, but Bain tries to stick with him. Here comes Ryan Taylor. Is he going to hit across the ball? Hits across the ball, looking for Martin Duggan. Is Ger Hanrahan in there for Feakle. It's Ger who has started the game in place of Colm Nocton. Duggan trying to get the ball up. Here comes Mike Curry. Curry gets the ball back, getting the ball back. He's overhits the pass, looking for his brother James, but he's robbed instead by Inda Noonan. The hard working Inda Noonan drives this ball down towards the corner, down towards Ray Bain. Ray Bain puts up his hurl, he blocks it down for himself. Ray, who has been a vital number for Feakle for a number of years. His pass goes to Donncha Murphy. Donncha direct play for Murphy, looking for Duggan down on top of Ger Hanrahan and Duggan gets on this ball, gets out ahead of Hanrahan. Duggan with a lovely flick of his wrists over the bar, a tremendous point, no catch in hand, off the hurley over the bar, David.
Yeah, that was a super score. Martin Duggan, 2 balls, 2 possessions, and he has 2 scores from it. Another quick puck out now by Ever Quilligan.
And the puck out goes out from Gary Gilfoyle out to Shane McGrath, and a push in the back by Shane McGrath. As David said, Shane McGrath picking up his position at centre forward, and a push in the back there by Rory Mack, and a chance for Shane McGrath to lessen the gap here. It's Clooney at the ascendancy. Clooney 4 points, Feakle 2 points, 7.5 minutes gone here in Cusack Park. The breeze, David, looking at this into the breeze, what would you expect? What would you like to be going in carrying as a cover at half time?
Yeah, I suppose it's definitely a 5-point breeze. Saying that, no, we were lucky. We went in only a point, but we came out fighting. The breeze is very strong and it's very deceiving. Even the flags down the sideline, they're not doing too much blowing, but it's a strong wind. Great score there by.
Yeah, great score by Shane McGrath. Lessens the gap to 1 point. Clooney Quinn 4 points. Feakle 3 points. Another point. Oh, it's gone to left and right and gone wide, Shane. We were preempting that one. It's gone wide. So still remains 4 points to 2. Keith Hogan with the puck out for Clooney into Stiffish Breeze, looking for Peter Duggan. Peter Duggan was up right hand, blocked away by Consmith. Consmith, who was one of the members of the Feakle team who was in Chicago for the summer. Out to Murphy. Murphy does well and gets it back to blocker. Direct play from Shane Mack. Gets the ball down, looking for Martin Duggan. Duggan looking lively at corner forward. Turns off his left hand side. He's a lovely low ball in towards Killian. Killian gets out in front of Evan McMahon. Here comes Killian Duggan trying to get around Evan McMahon. Not an easy thing to do. McMahon is a teak-tuck defender. And here comes Martin Duggan. Martin Duggan releases the ball back out to Killian Duggan. There's a Clooney player down injured. Killian Duggan, and a free in is going to be a free in for Clooney and a Clooney player. But Clooney maybe using what we're playing in a small bit. Is there going to be a penalty? Looks like it. Neil O'Brien has given a penalty. Your thoughts on that one, David?
To be honest, I thought it was outside. It was only a pullback, but I thought it was outside the big rectangle. I think is it Michael Curry down? It looks to be Michael Curry down. I didn't see, it was something off the ball. I didn't see what happened.
Yeah, indeed, Neil O'Brien had his hand outstretched very, very early, so he's gone in now to have a chat with his umpire. He definitely had the hand outstretched. I see Evan Quilligan out trying to advise Peter Duggan on how to take a penalty, and I suppose there's no better man than Peter Duggan how to take penalties, and Evan doing a bit of bound before him now, trying to a bit of mind games, and Neil O'Brien gone in to talk to his umpires, and that's here it is. It looks like Michael Curry is down. Michael, who has been a very, or is it James is down. Is it whatever way it is? It's a penalty. It looks like it was Alan Culligan actually. Alan Culligan was down. Culligan, who has been playing very well for Clooney, and here comes Peter Duggan. Peter taking this back one outside the 21. Now, you can cross the 21, and Ever Quilligan doing his dance inside the goals. This is a vital moment here in the first half. Nearly 10 minutes gone. Clooney up by 4 points to 2. What's Peter Duggan going to do with this one? He's going for the goal. Duggan a shot, and a great save, by Ever Quilligan. In fairness, Quilligan got down low, David, but Peter Duggan didn't really strike that one with conviction.
Yeah, it was great save by Ever. He didn't guess the side. He waited and he dived to his right, and it was super save. Ball out for a 65, and Peter's going taking the 65 now again. So
here's the penalty again, David, and as you said, Quilligan got down low out his right and gave away the 65, and here comes Peter back out now to take the 65, and that one keeps Feakle in the game, because Clooney Quinn would have got a bit of leeway there. Here comes Peter, marksman supreme into Stiffish Breeze. As we said, Feakle 4 points, or Clooney 4 points, Feakle 2 points. What's Peter going to do with this one? He has been striking well the warm. He strikes it low, a low trajectory, and straight over the bar. Clooney 5, Feakle 2, and David, Feakle can't afford to let Clooney build up a bit of a lead.
No, most definitely not. That was a super strike by Peter. An interesting battle here going on with Oisin Donlan out around the 45 and Fergal Lynch following him.
And a free, I thought it was a free there from Mike Curry. In fairness, he was made fairly head on. The ball is out in the bane, or in the noon, and the ball is out round. And here comes Culligan working hard, but it goes to number 8, Consmead, who's picking up a marking brief on Peter Duggan, but the ball comes into Donncha Murphy. Temperatures rising as well. With Ray Ban, Donncha Murphy trying to get, but it's Ryan Taylor, great skill from Taylor, gets away, lovely side step, gets the ball out to Bruiser, and Bruiser lets the ball back to Ryan Taylor being chased down by Inda Noonan, but he pops the best off to Peter off the left hand side, a shot into the breeze from Peter Duggan. And it's got great catch inside by Quilligan, who's been one of the most consistent goalies around the club championship. Gets the ball to Toohey, and Toohey launched it for Feakle. Is in over top looking for Raymond Bain. When the corner back went up the block, and it goes out to the right hand side and gone wide from Brian McInerney. And even with the breeze, David, and you said the breeze doesn't win a game for anyone, but Feakle are keeping an awful lot of players out.
They are, yeah, and even that ball this was struck in from too long, and it went out straight for a puck out, and that's not ideal. You need to be taking a small bit off the ball and try and land it on 13.
And the puck out from Keith Hogan came out to Donlan, but the ball comes out to Fergal Lynch pops the ball off out to the midfield. The midfielder is James Curry gets it out to Mike Curry coming through. This man has really burst on the scene for Clare. Mike Curry, a very impressive player, cutting in, gets in around, gets the ball out to Killian Duggan turns off his right hand side over the bar. 6 points for Clooney, 2 points for Feakle. And David, the direct running of Clooney has Feakle in North the bother.
It does indeed. That was a super score. A great James Curry picked up the ball and gave a lovely ball to his brother, and he just drove straight down the middle of the defence and gave a great pass to Killian to tap it over the bar. And the ball is now over with Peter Duggan. A shot from Peter, but there's a tail and it goes to the right hand side and goes wide. And David, Clooney, who lost to Bellier next to time in the first set, had an easy enough game the last day in Clarecastle, as the puck out from Evan Quilligan goes over the head of Eric Conway, and a shot from Ron O'Donnell, and it's gone to the right and left hand side of the post and gone wide. And Feakle seems to be bereft of ideas at the moment, David, and would need just to calm things down a small bit. Yeah, I suppose they're Clooney are winning the puck outs. Every puck out that's going long, Clooney are winning, and that's setting up their attack.
And the puck out from Evan Quilligan looking for in the noon, and the ball is blocked down by Taylor having a tremendous influence early stages. Lovely side step from Ryan Taylor, and Taylor gets away. Direct ball looking in for Killian Duggan. Killian Duggan getting out in front of Eric Conway. Here comes Duggan going to turn off his left hand side. A shot from Killian Duggan and straight over the bar. 7 points for Clooney, Feakle 2 points, and David, Clooney very, very sharp.
They are. You can see their tactic, and they're well mixing it up. They're running the ball, then they're giving long ball into the full forward line to Martin Duggan and Killian Duggan.
And the puck out from Evan Quilligan goes long. It's going to be cut out by Brian McInerney, but the ball is coming to Stevie Conway being held back there by Rory McNamara. Gets the ball back out. The ball comes out to Inda Noonan a shot and straight over the bar. Good reply from Inda Noonan from Feakle, and David, Feakle are going to need an awful lot more scores like that.
That was a great puck out by Ever. There was the 2-on-1 and it went down right to the 21. Feakle won it, popped the ball back outside to the 45, and a great score by Enda Noonan.
Yeah, and the puck out from Keith Hogan. Hogan goes long. Ball broken down by Consmead, but the ball comes out to Oisin Donlan gets now tossed to McMahon. Austin opens up the shoulders on side, and a shot from Austin McMahon. And there's another great reply from Feakle. 7 points for Clooney, 4 points for Feakle, and that's the reply that Feakle needed, David.
Exactly, 2 fast scores, and there's nothing better than that. By 2 quick scores, set up the game again.
And here comes the puck out from Hogan. Hogan gets it out, comes out to Michael Curry. Gets a lovely pop pass into Ron O'Donnell being chased. Here comes Ron O'Donnell crossing into the 21. Great player by out to Eric Conway. Conway loses out to Alan Culligan. A busy individual is this fella Culligan. And here he turns around, and a great pass back to Duggan. Killian Duggan always available for the pass, and straight over the bar from Killian Duggan. And David, Killian Duggan, the tactic getting the ball into him, working very, very well.
Exactly, Alan Culligan there did great work, won the ball, lost it and won it again, and then great pass to Killian, and he just put it over the bar.
And then the puck out from Evan Quilligan goes Neil O'Brien not allowing the quick pass out to Gary Gilfile for the Pines. So Neil O'Brien playing go back. I see Johnny Healy, the linesman, being called in. The Feakle Minters aren't happy. Evan Quilligan, David, they're trying to use this quick puck out, and Neil O'Brien isn't allowing the quick puck out to develop.
Yeah, I suppose that's a strange one. Every puck out so far has been very quick, and then I suppose that was a score, and Ever gave a great puck out to the middle of the field and straight over the bar when the Clooney lads switched off, but he didn't allow it.
Yeah, 8 points for Clooney, 4 points for Feakle. Good puck out from Quilligan. Looking for a great catch from Donlan. Pinpoint pass from Quilligan. Gets the ball back to Noonan. Noonan already 1 point. Drops the ball and the ball comes back out. Donlan trying to win it. The Feakle captain gets it out to Noonan. The hard working into Noonan. Gets a good ball into McGrath. Here comes Shane McGrath out in front of the stand here. McGrath turns off his right hand side. Tremendous score from Shane McGrath. Shane McGrath, who's carrying an injury but brings it back to a 1-score game. Clooney 8 points. Feakle 5 points. Good score from Shane McGrath, David.
Yeah, that's a super score. That's his second point of the day. From play, and again that was just on the sideline. Great score off his right.
And a quick puck out from Keith Hogan. Hogan out to Conor Harrison. Conor delivers it long up to the corner, straight in looking for Killian Duggan. Duggan out in front of Evan McMahon again, and he's waiting for the runners. Runners not as Croon as this year, but he gets the ball, pops it back, had the presence of mind to get back for Ron O'Donnell. Ron O'Donnell strikes off his left hand side, but it goes out and gone wide. Ever Quilligan goes quick with the puck out. Ever keeping Neil O'Brien very busy. The ball out towards Owen Toohey, and Owen Toohey is robbed by James Curry. Here comes James Curry cutting through the middle, and great block, the great hoop by Owen Toohey. Recovered the mistake. Good play by Toohey. He gets the ball back off James Curry. That's great defending from the Feakle man, and great relief. Drives the ball down here in front of the stand side, and the ball tries to block down. Stevie Conway trying to block it down in towards Oisin Donlan, but the bruiser wasn't buying that one, and a good free won by Feakle Lynch. And Feakle used all his experience there, David, because if Oisin Donlan had gone in behind for the break.
He did, yeah. If that ball went through the half back line, Oisin Donlan was 1-on-1 with Keith Hogan. There was no one at full back line for Clooney. But Fergal did well. I think he's down there injured. He has the helmet off. Is he bleeding or? Yeah,
he seems to pick up have a cut on the nose, and we'll see, is he going to be replaced as a blood sub? And Peter Duggan coming back into his own half back line to take the free. I suppose any free from any distance given to Peter Duggan, there's always a chance of a score, David.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's coming back so far. This is on the 45, 10 yards in from the sideline. His own 45 and 10 yards in from the sideline against a strong breeze. I'm not sure. I know Peter is a great strike, but I'm not sure will he get the distance on this.
I think Clooney are probably playing the soldier and probably playing down the clock and bringing him back down as well, and Peter trying to gain a few yards, and Pat Gavin, the eagle-eyed linesman there from Ogunlow brings him back, and then Peter Duggan just turns around and brings it back up to where he headed in the first place, and here comes Peter with his head on his own 45 yard line. I tell you, the Clooney lads are expecting this to go all the way. There's no movement out of it now. And here comes Peter Duggan, as David said, tremendous strike of ball, strikes it into the breeze, tries it. This is landing down on the Carnogia. I tell you, trotting far away. Great block down by Evan McMahon. It was Gary Gilfile blocked it down. He comes out to Ron O'Donnell. Ron O'Donnell turns off his right hand side and pops the ball over the bar. Good play from Ron O'Donnell. Now the tactic, David, of bringing Peter back worked well. He got it into the danger area.
He did indeed, and Ron O'Donnell's been picking up a lot of ball. Feakle need to kind of calm his influence on the game. He's picking up a lot of possessions. Puck out straight down onto the 21 now, and a goal chance.
Oh, it was a great puck out from Ever Quilligan, landed right down on the 14-yard line, and Raymond Bain went up one-handed and tried to flick the ball to net, but it went out to the left-hand side of Keith Hogan's post, and the score remains after 19 minutes gone here in the first half. Clooney Quinn 9 points, Feakle 5, and a quick puck out to Conor Harrison. Harrison has been alive to all those puck outs, and the ball comes down towards Ryan Taylor, but James Noonan, a very underrated defender for Feakle, gets the ball out to Gilfile tries to put the ball down to Conway. The ball gets down. Here comes the ball into Raymond Bain, but it's Brian McInerney, tough cornerback defender, and he's being pulled back by Raymond Bain. And really the tactic of Feakle isolating the Clooney full back line isn't really working at this stage, David.
No, that was great defending by Brian McInerney. Feakle are playing 2 in the full forward line, and it looks like they're playing 4 across the half forward line. But you have to say that the Clooney backs are definitely on top.
Yeah, and a free for Keith Hogan just outside his own 21-yard line here into the breeze. I see Sean Stack, who's the coach to Clooney Quinn. Sean, who's had a great success with his own club as a player and as a mentor, and now he's turning his hand with Clooney Quinn. And the ball looking up for Peter Duggan. Con Smith tries to get up, and the ball, Smith doing the job, just blocking the ball away from Peter Duggan, doing very well. But Duggan has this one, trying to get away from Smith, being pulled back by Smith. But Duggan has such skill. Great play by Ger Hanrahan, and I think the free was probably for the initial pullback by Con Smith, David.
Yeah, it was. It's great when the referees play advantage like that, to see if anything developed. Nothing developed. Neil pulled the free back for Peter when he was fouled initially, and Peter just outside the 45 should be a score.
Indeed, we do enough giving out about referees in our commentaries and in different matches throughout the year. So good to see David praising Neil O'Brien and O'Brien doing well. You know, did allow the advantage. He was anything going to Crew, and when he used the 5-second rule, when nothing Crew came back, and a free for Peter Duggan. 15 yards in from the sideline here, and the main stand about 40 yards out. You'd expect Peter. Arrow like straight over the bar, double scores in Cusack Park. Clooney 10 points, Feakle 5 points. And David, what would you do for Feakle to try and change it to get back in this game?
Initially, now look, Oisin Donlan's kind of gone back into corner forward. They're kind of trying to put more men into the full forward line. And is there a goal chance on here? Shane McGrath comes in and strikes. Goal.
A goal! Straight away, the tactic of moving in Donlan worked into Shane McGrath. Great play from Feakle. And here we have it, the ball in over the top, into Shane McGrath, flicked it with one hand, in low past Keith Duggan. That brings Feakle back into the game. Great score from McGrath. Clooney Quinn, 10 points, Feakle 1-5. Just the score the Feakle needed, David.
Exactly, that was a big goal, and I suppose 21 minutes gone. Can they keep lifting that now and get another score? Or will Clooney fight back and get a score now? Ball goes up to Martin Duggan.
Yeah, Duggan, great skill. This is an elusive corner forward. Won an All-Ireland intermediate with Clare. What a shot for a pass back to Peter Duggan. Peter just shoots on side. There's a strong breeze there. And Ever Quilligan, good goalkeeping from Quilligan, has caught inside, being held by Killeen Duggan. A dangerous ball was hanging in the wind. Ever couldn't take the chance, and Ever going to go along with this one. The wind long the last time, and it created great dividend with a goal from Shane McGrath. And here comes Ever Quilligan. Quilligan going long again this time, looking for Oisin Donlan. Oisin Donlan puts up the hand, and the ball breaks down. And here, flicked here by Donncha Murphy on Shane McGrath. And I would imagine Neil O'Brien slowly, calmly you can see it here again, David, as the ball broke down. And here comes McGrath, and a little flick by Donncha Murphy. Lucky enough to get
in fairness to Donncha, I think he was going for the ball, and I think just Shane McGrath came from his blind side, was too fast for him, and he just got to touching the ball first, and Donncha a little slap in the hand, and only a free, and good refereeing.
Yeah, sensible refereeing by Neil O'Brien. Here comes Shane McGrath, and Shane McGrath makes no mistake and makes a 1 point game here in Cusack Park. 23 minutes gone in the first half. Clooney Quinn 10 points, Feakle 1 goal and 6 here on ClareGAA TV in conjunction with Dowd Media. And the puck out brought down from Keith Hogan out towards Shane McGrath. McGrath being chased there by Brian McInerney. McGrath does well, gets it back to Conway. Conway opens up the shoulders. He's retailing it. Yeah, he's gone to the left hand side of the Keith Hogan and out wide. And Feakle would maybe be better advised, rather than shooting on sight, David, maybe getting the ball in.
Exactly, but it's funny enough now, I think Oisin Donlan's gone back out into the 65, into number 6. Shane McGrath's gone to wing forward, and they're back in with two only inside again. Yeah,
Feakle rotating the forwards. Great play there, well caught there in the middle by Killian Bain. And is it Ger Hanrahan now being moved out to follow Evan McMahon, being put back in Martin Duggan, and Ger Hanrahan gone to full back on Killian Duggan, and a free for Feakle just outside their own 65 yard line, and no better man than Shane McGrath. Shane McGrath going taking this free. It is going to level the scores here in Cusack Park. Feakle making a comeback here in the latter stages of the second half. 24 minutes gone. Clooney 10 points, Feakle 1 goal and 6. Feakle could do with living up the score, as we said. Feakle playing with the aid of a very strong breeze here, blowing straight down into the early goals. And here comes McGrath normally very, very accurate, and indeed straight away the linesman the umpire John Cooney level pegging, David.
Yeah, again, you have to give great credit to Shane. He's been struggling with a shoulder injury for the last number of weeks, and he's still out there getting massive scores. I think it's the first puck out all day now. That's not a quick puck out. Keith Hogan has no ball inside. Now he has two balls being pucked into him, and
the Feakle are throwing him in out. Like the buses, they come in ones, they come in. You mightn't see one for a half an hour, then they come in twos. And Keith Hogan in no particular hurry to puck this ball out. Feakle have made a great comeback here in the second half. Or in the second half, latter stages of the first half. And the puck out from Hogan goes long, looking for Peter Duggan as always. Gilfile doing well for Feakle, blocks that ball down, but it comes to Ryan Taylor, the elusive Taylor, gets the ball in, looking for Martin Duggan, now being picked up by Hanrahan. A great catch by Ger Hanrahan, and Hanrahan being tackled by Peter Duggan. Hanrahan does well, strikes the ball down, looking for Shane McGrath, going to come out to Raymond Bain, good touch from Bain, the full forward, he gets away from Feakle Lynch, he's gone away from Feakle Lynch. Here comes Raymond Bain, a shot. And a goal for Raymond Bain. The hurley came across him. But that's, David, that's a magnificent goal.
Super goal, great catch in the back on Martin Duggan. Came straight down Raymond Bain, great touch, rounded Feakle Lynch. Feakle couldn't pull him down. He might have been better off to pull him down, and he kept going. I think it was it Shane McNamara then that threw the hurley?
Yeah, it was Shane McNamara being warned there by Neil O'Brien. Feakle, 2 goals and 7. Clooney Quinn, 10 points. What a comeback from Feakle, David.
Yeah, it was a great comeback. It's like last 7 minutes even. It's been all Feakle. Their work rate has improved and they're winning the puckouts from both Keith Hogan and Aver.
And the ball here with Gilfoyle. Gilfoyle has done well. Great pass off to Noonan. Noonan has gone a shot up in the Noonan. He already has 1 point. In the Noonan, straight over the bar. 2 goals and 8 points for Feakle. 10 points for Clooney Quinn. In the Noonan, not normally a prolific marksman for Feakle, has had 2 excellent points. And the buck out from Hogan. He's going looking for Michael Curry. Curry puts up the ball, but Gilfoyle does well. Gilfoyle is playing the sweeper role well. Gets it to Toohey. And Toohey direct ball. There's a purpose. And the ball is going in over the top towards Bain again. He's gone in behind Feakle Lynch again. A ball out towards Stevie Conway. And Feakle Lynch may be looking to get a free there, David. But I tell you, the direct ball is now paying dividend for Feakle.
It is indeed. Raymond Bain was very unlucky there. He got a touch. It just couldn't get into his hand. It went onto the ground, and great recovery in defence from Feakle. And he was, I think, pushing the back and got fouled.
Yeah, here comes Keith Hogan with the free. Keith already beaten twice by Raymond Bain and Shane McGrath, and the free comes out looking for and a free in there, a push there by Conn Smith, and Conn's been helped there by Peter Duggan. Peter now trying to defeat, to have him. There's no doubt to have him upset. They're trying to get a throw in out of him, but Neil O'Brien playing cool. 2 goals and 8 points for Feakle. That's 14 points. Clooney 10 points and a free for Peter Duggan as the clock ticks on to just gone 27.5 minutes gone here in the first half. And a free for Peter Duggan, about 40 yards out from the Feakle goal. As we said, Ever Quilligan and the Feakle defence taking men in the goals here at the town end. And I think it's Oisin Donlan offering a bit of advice to Peter Duggan. Peter, who had a penalty saved by Ever Quilligan, and it kept Feakle in the game. It could have propelled Clooney to going on, Clooney Quinn to a higher lead, but Quilligan kept it in it. A shot, lovely free from Duggan over the bar. 2 goals and 8 points to 11 points. And Ever Quilligan, he's going, definitely there's no doubt, but he's going to go long. The sun is in the eyes. I see Austin McMahon looking for the puck out, but Aver decides to go long, straight down the middle, and the ball, Shane Mack goes up, but here comes Feakle Lynch out in front of his men on this occasion, and a high challenge by Stevie Conway, and there could be a little bit of an interview here for Stevie Conway, David.
Yeah, I think so. Feakle Lynch was using all of his experience there. We just see a replay here of it. I think it was a shoulder into the front of Feakle Lynch, but Feakle Lynch was using experience, didn't contest the high ball, and it just broke. I think 4 or 5 players contested that high wall, broke behind. Feakle Lynch picked it up, was coming out of defence, and he got shoulder into the front. Yeah, so Stevie, he must have learned off Dermot Rasher. You must have been training him well there in Chicago during the summer. Stevie, who has recovered from injury to play in this game. So a yellow card, obviously, for Stevie Conway. And as David said, Feakle Lynch playing using all his oodles of experience. A man who made a very impressive debut as a county minor manager this year. Has adapted well to the full-back role, predominantly as a forward, and a free going to be taken by Keith Hogan on the edge, out on the very edge of the D. 2 goals and 8 points to 11 points. Just gone 29 minutes here. We're in the dying numbers here of the first half. Here comes the free from Keith Hogan. Going to go direct with this one. Loves this one in. And there's a lot of traffic on the edge of the D as the ball blocked down by Gilfoyle, but it comes out to Peter Duggan. Here comes Duggan, turns off his left hand side with economy and effort over the bar. 2 goals and 8 points to 12 points. Lovely score from play from Peter Duggan. That's just class. You can't buy that. High ball, took it down on a group of 10 players and turned onto his left, scored. A quick puck out now again by Aver, and contesting it here is Rory McNamara. Goes out for a sideline to Feakle.
Yeah, and the ball goes off the stick of Rory McNamara out over the line ball for Feakle, 45 yards out from the Clooney goal. Raymond Bain, the only Feakle forward within 40 yards. Oisin Donlan making his way in now as Shane McGrath going taking this line ball. Austin McMahon makes a move looking for the quick pass, and here comes McGrath, cuts it, a cut from Shane McGrath, a shot from McGrath, and it's gone straight over there. That's great skill from Shane McGrath, David.
Yeah, Shane has all the skill in the world. Free sidelines from play, it doesn't make a difference. Great sideline, and quick puck out to Alan Culligan, just overhit a small bit. and it's Eric Conway contesting the ball on the ground.
And the ball is here. There's a challenge out over here on the sideline. Owen Toohey trying to get the ball away out for Feakle. Shane McNamara in there. And there's a line. Neil O'Brien has called for a line ball. Going to be taken by Owen Toohey. It's 2 goals and 9 points to Feakle, 12 points to Clooney. Here comes Owen. Gary Gilfile maybe going taken. Yeah, Gary Gilfile, who also has a good cut of a line ball. I see Eric Conway and James Corrie getting to know one another there in front. So here we're in the dying moments here. 2 goals and 9 points for Feakle, 12 points for Clooney. The 2 goals from Shane McGrath. And the difference between the teams at the moment. The ball comes across to Austin McMahon. Austin McMahon being beaten by the evergreen Conor Harrison. Harrison gets the ball back to Brian McInerney. McInerney coming up along the stand side, drives the ball in towards the corner, but the ball is going to go out over the line. Yes, indeed, the line ball. And indeed, the move maybe of Feakle by putting Ger Hanrahan over and Martin Duggan seems to have worked.
Yeah, I suppose Clooney haven't been getting the ball in as much. Feakle have kind of are contaminated the ball coming in from midfield, getting poked in, and it's been, as you've seen there, the ball going in isn't great. Went over the sideline and a line ball to Feakle. Yeah,
we're in injury time here. We're at the discretion of referee Neil O'Brien here in the end of the first half. Hanrahan cuts a good ball, and there goes the half-time whistle. It's Feakle 2 goals and 9. It's Clooney 12 points. And David, your thoughts as in a moment that the replay of the goals is going to come up, but good comeback from Feakle, David.
Yeah, it looked like first 19, 20 minutes, it looked like Clooney might be running away with the game, but Feakle showed great fight and heart to come back into the game, and I think the goal was a big change. They after the goal they got 2 points as well, which 5-point turnaround.
Yeah, and indeed, I suppose the penalty save from Ever Quilligan, David, very important. You know, there was 4 points to 2. We would have put a 5-point gap. Instead, the penalty save, which we're going to show here now, and from Ever Quilligan, here it comes.
That's a super save, isn't it? I think Peter tried to do everything right. He went to, we say, Ever's worst side, down to Ever's right, down low, bounced the ball, but Ever got down super quick, and great save out for a 65.
Yeah, indeed. Now we're going to show the goals. Another major talking point of the first half. Here comes the goal from Raymond Bain. He got around Fergal Lynch. You might talk us through it, David.
Yeah, I suppose high ball came down. It was 1-on-1 about 40 yards out. Great catch, and Fergal just got a small bit close to him, and when Raymond Bain landed, he was on the turn straight away. Went straight for goal, and there was no covering defender there, and great shot. When he took the shot, did everything right. And Shane McNamara, through the Hurling, picked up a yellow card for that as well.
Yeah, and indeed, it's 2 goals and 9 points for Feakle, 12 points for Clooney at half time, and a lot of talking points for Sean Chaplin, who has Seamus Hayes with him.
Thanks, Leo. Yeah, I'm joined here again with Seamus as we look back on the first 30 minutes, Seamus. I suppose it'd be fair to say Clooney would be very happy with their start, but as the game progressed, and especially after the goals, Feakle have really come storming into it, and now they hold their 3-point lead.
That's right. Clooney started very well. Probably will be disappointed they didn't get a few more scores when they were dominant in the first quarter of an hour, but Feakle scored 2-3 in about 6 minutes. And you know, they've grown in confidence since they got those scores. Now I know they have to come out now and face a fairly stiff wind, but you know, the pressure's on Clooney now, and they certainly will have to have a look at some of their play. You know, they're going to need more from their forward line if they're going to win this one.
Yeah, I suppose after 10 or 15 minutes they'd been very happy with how things were progressing. They had stretched out their lead. They were, I suppose, 5 points up at one stage even, and then all of a sudden they got hit with the goal, and as you say, momentum really shifted after that, and the second goal turned it in Feakle's favour for the rest of the half.
That's right, yeah, and you know, as you said, Feakle are a team that's building confidence, and they've taken great confidence from those goals, you know, and they're going into the dressing room and they're bouncing, you know, you could see the bounce and the step on the way in, whereas I said Clooney will be asking themselves a few questions, and their management are having a fair serious chat over here on the sideline now, you know, as the way to go in and have a chat with the players. But the Duggan clan up front, you know, Peter, Martin and Killian, they certainly have ability to cause problems in this half, and I'd say they'll be hoping that with the aid of the wind that they'll pump enough of ball down into the forwards. But in the earlier game today, the team playing against the wind did better in the second half. You know, they created more space, and Feakle are the type of team that can do that, and Shane McGrath seems to be on fire. I think there's 160 he scored so far, and it's not as a foregone conclusion that Clooney are going to win this one, or that really have their work cut out in the second half.
No, and I suppose coming into it, we'd have been looking at the two main marksmen in Peter and Shane, and both have delivered high quality performances so far in difficult conditions. It must be said, here in the field there's a swirling wind. It's not easy to put the frees over the bar. We've seen Shane put the line ball over the bar, and as well they've chipped in from play.
That's right, yeah. Both free takers said it even before the game that they would have a key role to play. Peter is a strong player, and we can see from the way he strikes the ball, he strikes it low, but he strikes it very firm into the wind. I would see him taking frees only from his own goal line in this half, because he has that ability, and that's going to have a key role to play in it. But it's not going to be all about the free takers either. They can't afford to miss any chances, but Feakle will have to work hard to limit Clooney's chances in this half if they are to win the game. It's all to play for, and it wouldn't surprise me if we were here a little longer. This could well go to extra time.
And I suppose listening to David up there earlier before the game started, he spoke about the two goalies and the impact that they can have in terms of their puck out strategy, and I suppose the distance they can strike, but also the accuracy in terms of short puck outs. And when they're going right, they're able to reach the square, and it'll be interesting to see now with Killian Duggan in there. He got 3 points, I think, from play there in the first half. He held up a lot of ball inside there, and you'd be expecting that he'd be seeing a lot of the puck outs even landing down on top of him now in the second half.
Yeah, I suppose I'd say in the modern game, goalkeepers have a huge part to play now, and they seem to be very influential. And even Eivor Quilligan made a great save on the penalty from Peter Duggan, but while they were getting ready to take the penalty, I saw Eivor come out to the 21 and did a few stretches alongside Peter. Whether that was to wish him well or what, I don't know, but it paid off. And but as I said, the puck out strategy is going to have a big part in this as well, and picking out players to receive the ball, and that could come down to the final decision yet, and somebody winning a puck out like that and holding up play. But it's certainly all to play for, and it's really intriguing at this stage. It's very hard to call who's going to win it at this stage.
Yeah, and I suppose just looking at the breeze, and as you say, Feakle are against it, but they are a team. They're a young team. They carry the ball. They go short. So from that point of view, it might actually, the fact that the ball has been held up in front of them might actually help them more than hinder them. And it'll be interesting to see what way they adapt now and set up and go and attack this half, because 3 points, as you say, is nothing. So it's a slender lead, but it is an advantage.
Yeah, certainly it is an advantage. But as I say, Feakle, there's some very skillful players, and well able to hold up the ball, and well able to move, to flick it around, within tight spaces. Clooney, on the other hand, they have strong players, and they're going to have to, the first 10 minutes they're going to have to put down a marker if they're going to be in this at the end. They're going to have to come out and get a few early scores and just say, look, we're taking over here. It's going to be the challenge is there for them now, and I suppose if they have ambitions of winning a title, they're going to have to lift it in this one.
That's it. And like the experience, I suppose, gained 2 years ago in terms of, and as I say, even in their game against Feakle at that time of the year, it went to the wire that day as well. But you would imagine that experience built up over the last 2 or 3 years with them should come to the fore in the next 30 minutes. But again, Feakle will be trying everything to ensure that it doesn't.
Oh, they certainly will, and they have experience on the sideline as well. Like Sean Stack is a very experienced team coach. He's been with a lot of teams and has a lot of success both inside and outside the county. And he's a shrewd sideline man, and he'll have a lot of ideas on how to quell, we'll say, if Feakle are putting on the pressure. Fergal Lynch, I suppose, it's a surprise to many that he's playing at full back. They should haven't played many all. He's hurling up front. But he's a wise headed back in there, and he'll keep fellas in positions and win a few frees, and he's well able to hold up proceedings for a few seconds extra when he's taken it, or when the free has to be delivered. So there's a lot of experience in that Clooney team, which may just about see them through. But it's going to be very tight. It really is going to be very tight.
And looking at the first half, the middle third was a huge battleground. There was space in front of both sets of full forward lines, but that middle third, like the amount of, I suppose, ruck ball that we saw and things like that, it's going to be the same again in the second half, and it's going to be the team that put the shoulder to the wheel and win that ball is going to have a big bearing on it.
Correct, and I see Clooney obviously know they're in battle now, because they're out here very fast and they're sprinting into their position, so they know that they have a lot to do at this stage. The thing is, as you say, controlling the ball up front, and Clooney have a number of players who are well able to strike the ball very long, and it may even be a problem for them to prevent puck outs and clearances from the full back line from going wide at the other end, such as their power and such as the part that the wind will play in this. But it's all to play for. It's certainly there. The advantage is probably still slightly with Clooney, they're a bit more experience, but the first 10 minutes will tell a lot.
Yeah, and I suppose just looking at, as you say, Clooney coming out, half time came at a right time for them, in that Feakle were just getting into the groove, just getting into the stride, but they've had that break, they've had time now to adapt, and you'd expect to see Clooney maybe push on now in the next 10 minutes and try and go for home from there.
Yeah, certainly you're correct in that. The first 10 minutes is going to be crucial, and first couple of scores will lay down a marker here. And in the back of Feakle's minds, maybe the fact that they were very poor in the second half of their last round, haven't had a very good first half. So that's going to be something that they have to deal with now as well. But Clooney, certainly looking at them there now, they're very focused, and they seem to know they're in a battle. And I'd say they're going to, have a cut really from the try.
So as we look at it here, I suppose we now have 10 teams left in the championship at the moment. In just over a half an hour time, that is going to be down to 9. So we're going to hand it back now to Leo as we wait for the Feakle team to come back, and they'll take us through the second half.
And thanks to Seamus there for their analysis at half time. And David, as the boys said, Clooney Quinn very quick to come back out in the field for the second half. And you said it at half time, even off in the first half during your own game, he played better carrying the ball into the wind, or in the second half again the wind. Do you see Clooney playing a more direct game in the second half, or what way do you see it going?
It's hard to know. I suppose from the first half, it's going to be interesting how Feakle set up. First half they played 2 in the inside line, and they brought their corner forward out to the half forward line. So basically that meant that Clooney's cornerback had to follow him out to 45, 55 yards out, and it left 2-on-2 inside in the full forward line. It's going to be interesting what Clooney are going to do. They have 2 big massive men inside in Martin Duggan and Killian Duggan, but so they can vary the game. They can give long ball into them, or they can run with the likes of James Curry, Michael Curry, Ryan Taylor. They have great speed, running through, breaking through that half back line. And I reckon if they break through that half back line, they're going to get a goal.
Yeah, and indeed, here come the Feakle team back out in the field for the start of the second half. No sign of our match officials, Neil O'Brien and his umpires and linesmen, as of yet. Lovely evening here in Cusack Park. I know we had a lot of rain around the county during the day. So far here this evening in Cusack Park, we've escaped the rain. Here comes the same mentioned Neil O'Brien out to take his place in the middle. And Feakle in the ascendancy, you said it at half time, or during the first half, David, you needed a 5 or 6 point lead. Do you still hold it at that?
I think so, yeah. I think Clooney might still have too much for them. Con Smith especially is doing a great job, and Peter's only got 2 or 3 points from play, and I reckon he's going to come into the game a bit more. And the game is on here, and the ball is with Donnacha Murphy going back to his own half back line, and turns like his father used to many years ago off his right hand side and clear the ball down towards Ronan O'Donnell. But James Noonan, the man who never gets the credit he deserves at cornerback, gets a great ball, low ball up into the corner, looking for Raymond Ban. Ban is out in front of Feakle Lynch. Indeed, Raymond Ban picks it up, tries to get the ball, he tries to get around, does get around Feakle Lynch, and he's leaving Feakle Lynch behind him. Ban turns off his left hand side. That's a great start to the second half for Feakle, David, really. Exactly. James Noonan the great there. Ronan O'Donnell was out in front. James Noonan dispossessed him, gave a great ball up to Raymond Ben. It looked like Fergal Lynch kind of held him up at the start, but Fergal kind of got a bit too close to him again, and Raymond got a great score. And the puck out, two goals and 10 points for Feakle. It's 12 points. And the ball, great for his interception by Gerard Hanrahan. That quick puck out from Hogan. Here comes Hanrahan, playing very well for Feakle. Strikes it off his left hand side, clears the ball up towards Stephen Conway. Conway breaks the ball down towards Inda Noonan. Here comes Stevie Conway working hard. The ball is there with McGrath. McGrath puts it into space, trying to get away from the blocker from Shane Mack. Shane Mack and Shane McGrath. Shane on Shane. And the ball breaks out. Donnacha Murphy trying to get it for Clooney Quinn. And the ball is going to try, and there's 2 or 3 Feakle bodies on the ground there, and Shane McGrath and Peter Duggan getting to know one another. But definitely the intention of Feakle, David, they're going working hard, there's no doubt about it. They've upped their intensity even again at the start of the second half. And that's what you have to do. Clooney did great there, and great score there. Great score. Great ball from off the left by Stephen Conway. Stephen Conway, as we said, who carried an injury into the game himself from McGrath, but both of them are doing well, and Feakle have got the first 2 scores. Feakle 2-11, Clooney 12 points, and a big long puck out from Hogan goes down looking for Killian Duggan, but the ball is brought down towards Eric Conway. Eric Conway coming away for Feakle. Here comes Eric, hand passing the ball up along the wing to the Austin McMahon tries to get away. Hand pass, I'd say he could have been pulled in that one, to a dodgy one, and the ball goes into Ben gets out in front of Fergal, and definitely, David, really, Feakle's tactic of getting the ball into Raymond Ben working quite well. It is indeed. I think it was Austin McMahon here just below us, literally on the sideline, had the ball on an overhead kind of catch, and it looked like he threw it, but the referee said play on, and gave a great low ball into Raymond Ben, won the ball, and Feakle again got a bit too close to him and pushing the back. Free for Shane McGrath now, 25 yards out. It's interesting to see. I think Feakle are kind of staying with the same tactic. They're playing two inside. Shane McGrath this time, he's kind of coming out. He's playing just behind number 6, and it's forcing Brian McInerney to follow him out and mark him.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. There's a lot of Clooney fellas being taken out of their comfort zone here in Cusack Park, and Feakle put another point on the lead. It's Feakle who started the second half with 3 quick points. You know, Ever Quilligan defending the goals at the LD end, playing into the breeze. There's 2 goals and 12 points for the men from Feakle, 12 points for Clooney, and it kind of is a mirror image of the game a number of years ago when Feakle played Clooney in Shannon. It was the same thing. Can Clooney come back? The ball is out with McNamara, gets the ball out to Brian McInerney the cornerback, gets the ball out to O'Donnell going to strike off his left hand side. Lovely measured strike from O'Donnell, straight over the bar, and David Ron O'Donnell came onto a lot of ball in the first half, maybe didn't finish off with all the scores, played the ball on, a measured score, great score from him there.
Yeah, that's a great score. His confidence will be up. It was James Noonan that kind of Ron O'Donnell came out into midfield. James Noonan kind of stood his ground, and by doing that it left Ron O'Donnell free. Great flick there by Peter Duggan to get the ball to, I think, Conor Harrison, isn't it? No?
Donegal Murphy. They puck out from Everton. Here comes James Curry, the hard-working midfielder, lifts a high ball. This is a dangerous one in towards Killian Duggan and Evan McMahon. Duggan puts up the hand, but McMahon does well. But here comes Duggan, the man who got 3 points in the first half, trying to get the ball to hand. But here comes James Noonan, the hard-working James Noonan. Here he comes out for Feakle and hand pass to Conway. And Conway, no miss him. Conway turns off his left-hand side and tries to get down towards Stevie. Oh, great catch from Stevie Conway. A shot from Stevie, a turn off his right. That's a marvellous score from Feakle from Stevie Conway.
Exactly, great score. Great defending. It's interesting to see Feakle are holding their shape in their backs. It looks like Gary Guilfoyle is even dropping into his own 45, especially for the puck outs. And great ball in. Stevie Conway, great catch, turned onto his right, great score.
And the score now is 2 goals and 13 points in favour of Feakle. The puck out from Keith Hogan goes long, but it comes out to Owen Toohey. Owen Toohey gets it away to Noonan. Noonan working hard for Feakle in the Noonan. Gets the ball, drives it down towards Conway again. Conway. And there's an incident over on the far sideline. I see a couple of bodies. The referee is oblivious to what's going on, but the ball comes out to Alan Culligan, who got a point in the first half. Tries to take on Austin McMahon, but McMahon does well. And the Feakle gander is up, and the ball gets down towards McGrath. But the ball comes away, beaten by Brian McInerney. Comes back to Shane McNamara. There was an incident off the ball, but the umpires just keep their hands in their pockets. The ball goes down. Oh, what a catch from Martin Duggan. Here comes Duggan for Clooney. Gets the ball out to O'Donnell. Here's the goal machine from a number of years ago. Oh, what a shot.
I think it was blocked, was it?
It came off a block down by Evan McMahon. We'll see the replay again here, David.
Yeah, great catch by Martin Duggan. He tried to put onto his hurley, but it just fell to the ground. Then he had to he was forced to flick it to Ron O'Donnell, and great cover and defending, and just got a block in on it.
I think myself, looking at the replay, it was Ger Hanrahan. who was often gets a lot of attention, and but people forget he's a very, very good defender also, and he came back there, used all his experience and got the hurley and out for a 65 metre free for Peter Duggan. Feakle 2 goals and 13 points. Clooney 13 points, and we're gone nearly 6 minutes gone here in the second half. And the tension is up, and intensity has leveled up. I see even Neil O'Brien, the referee, is having technical difficulties with his equipment. I see Johnny Healy in there giving him a hand. I tell you, everything is going here this evening in Cusack Park. It's a 65 for Peter Duggan and is Johnny and Neil O'Brien. I'd say they might be discussing the incident that happened at the far end. There was an incident over in front of where normally the Ayr Oak supporters would congregate for their games. David made plenty of noise, but I see Neil O'Brien is he calling out. Looks like he's going to have an award with Ger Hanrahan. There's maybe one or two. Yeah, he's having an award with Ger Hanrahan.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened. There was a schmozzle. Peter Duggan was in the middle of it. I think, to be honest, I don't know what happened. It was when the ball wasn't even in play, but he just had a chat with him. No card, nothing, play on.
Yeah, indeed. O'Brien is having a good game refereeing it. Here comes the 65 from Duggan, straight over the bar for Clooney. 2 goals and 13 for Feakle. 14 points. I see Colm Nocton and Feakle Donlan are warming up for Feakle. Michael McNamara may be about to be introduced for Clooney. Here comes Ava Quilligan. A great puck out into the breeze. That's a marvellous puck out into the breeze from Quilligan. Looking for Oisin Donlan. The ball comes down to Ryan Taylor, but it's in the hand of Donlan. Donlan tries to flick it away one-handed, but the ball is there with Peter Duggan. Oisin has gone to ground, picked up an injury, and Ryan Taylor, and the helmet comes off, so Neil O'Brien has no option but to stand back play. And Oisin Donlan playing well for Feakle, David, and he has picked up an injury, hopefully not too serious.
Yeah, that was a super catch. Great puck out. Tried to isolate Oisin Donlan. In fairness to Clooney, they got back to kind of after the catch when he landed onto the ground. They got back to surround him, and you can see Clooney's half-hour line all coming back inside their own 65, just causing a battlefield. The ball broke out to Ryan Taylor. Ryan Taylor, I don't know, his helmet came loose. He rose the ball. While doing so, he took off his helmet. He probably should have kept going with the helmet half off, and the play would have been play on. Now it's a throw in inside the Clooney 65.
And a change on the Clooney team, and Michael McNamara, who was originally named in the lineup for Clooney but was replaced at the last minute by Alan Culligan, and now the reverse positions. Michael Mack is into the game instead of Alan Culligan. As Clooney maybe need a bit more physical presence in the middle of the field, so Mack taking up his place in the middle of the field. There's a lot of there is a throw in, as David said, in the Noonan, and Brian McInerney in for this throw in, and Feakle in the ascendancy. Noonan, who's working hard for Feakle, another fella, and a push in the back by the Noonan on Shane McNamara, giving a chance for Clooney, who's gone. And where's Peter on this occasion? Right back where you'd want him. He's 45 yards, 50 yards out from his own goal, 20 metres in here from the stand side, and a free for, as we said, for Clooney. 2 goals and 13 for Feakle, 14 points for Clooney here in his Senior Championship game on the ClareGAA YouTube TV channel in association with Dowd Media. And here comes Peter Duggan. We let Peter take this free, and we have a number of comments at the ball from Peter Duggan, but there's a tail that gone to the right hand side and gone wide. We have to say Michael Flanagan has messaged us to say good coverage also from George Murphy. Tin Tuna has admitted in to say Seamus Hayes showing why he's been a senior sports editor for 87 years. The comment about outs are important, and Tin Tuna said how unfair how Feakle are targeting Namtem servant Feakle Lynch. But look to win a championship game, you do anything you can to do it, and we look for your comments here on our YouTube channel here. To see what do you think of the coverage here on ClareGAA TV. A line ball for Gallagher File, David.
Yeah, Ava Quilligan tried to pick Oisin Donlan out as well, but great defending by Donnacha Murphy to bat the ball out for 65. Quick ball from the line ball across the field over to Raymond Ben, and that's a super score. Raymond Ben is causing Fergal Lynch a lot of trouble.
Indeed. Yeah, and here we have David, that great score from Ben.
Yeah, the sideline on this 65, on this near side where the dressing rooms are, all the way over to the far side where all the space was, now puck out by Keith Hogan. Look at that for a touch by Peter Duggan. Took it with 3 men hanging around him, and he was pulled down to the ground. He's on top of him. I don't know. Got pushed again there by, was it by Ger Hanrahan?
Yeah, they're getting on to know one another quite well. As you can see, great skill by Duggan. One handed, got the ball down. There's no doubt about it, David. He's coming in for fair attention from the Feakle defence. Exactly.
With the skill in that touch alone, the ball came from a puck out in between the 45 and 21. And I think, is there been a sending off?
It looks like is it Ger Hanrahan is going to get a second yellow here. We're not sure. There's a lot of officials inside there waiting to see what's going on. No, it looks like Ger Hanrahan and Neil O'Brien are having more. I'm not sure what's happening. Is it Ger Hanrahan, John Toohey, a Feakle selector, is inside also. Remains to be seen. Neil hasn't made his decision quite clear. We're looking back here at the replay. We can't see exactly when. There was great skill from Duggan as the ball came to ground. And indeed, it looks like, is it Ger Hanrahan? I see Ger Hanrahan. I'd say he's been told to lead the field. John Toohey, the selector, John, who's given great service to Feakle as a player and a mentor. I'd say he just went in to question the decision by Neil O'Brien. And indeed, David, you're quite right. Ger Hanrahan has got a carte de brie, and that could be a major turning point in this game, David.
Yeah, He took him a while to get off the field. He's very. It looks like he's very upset. He doesn't. I don't know. Does he even know why he got the red card? Again, I didn't see the incident, and you can hear the Clooney crowd getting right back behind their team.
Yeah, now it's 2 goals and 14 for Feakle. And 15 points for Clooney, and the puck out going to come from Ever Quilligan. And I think myself maybe on that occasion, and Ger would be well advised now to go into the dugout. He's having words with the linesman there, and the ball is pucked out. I thought maybe that there was an incident between two. You know, it takes 2 to tango at times. And Donegal Murphy, great hook down there by Oisin Donlan. Feakle now going to have to work hard, and the ball comes back to McNamara. Pressed this ball down on top of Duggan and Evan McMahon. McMahon puts blocks it down with the hurry, and here comes the pop pass to Ryan Taylor. Here comes Taylor for a shot, and a great block down by Killian Bain. But in fairness, David Reedy, the Feakle defence are working overtime down there, and really putting their bodies on the line.
They are indeed. Even with that block, you've seen it was with his foot that he blocked it. He was making his body as big as possible. The ball got played into Killian Duggan. You could see Ryan Taylor tanking through the middle. Great offload by Killian. And he probably should have took the score. There was a lot of bodies in his way. But he went for the goal, got blocked by, I'm not sure whose foot.
Killian
Bain's foot. That's great defending. That's not his first block today.
No, indeed, as we said, the Feakle defence are playing very, 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 very well. And I see we're going to have a look back at the red card incident, and we might get a closer look up and maybe see what happened, David. Great control from Duggan.
Yeah, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch into his hand, going for goal, gets dragged down to the ground. There's been a schmozzle, and there was a bit of a schmozzle. I'm only speculating now, but it looked like Peter was being put. We'll watch it again. It looked like Peter was being pulled onto the ground. Would it be with contact with his helmet that he got the red card for? It's
a second yellow one. I say it could have been for the pullback. The pullback. He'd already picked up a yellow only moments before, so I can only surmise that that's it for. But Ger was rather irate coming off, and there was a flick back maybe from Peter as well. But look, that's the referee is the man in the middle, and he makes the decision. He was closer. He was right up with the situation. So it's Ger Hanrahan who has paid the brunt of it. But Feakle, who are in the ascendancy by 5 points, 2 goals and 14 points for Feakle. We're gone nearly halfway through the second half, and here comes Peter Duggan, a low trajectory straight over the bar, 2 goals and 14 to 16 points. And David, now looking at it, Feakle really not getting the ball up, and that extra man could really come back to hurt them.
Exactly. Feakle are still playing with 2, and it's even gone to 1 into the full forward line. It's Conor Harrison playing their spare man, and he's standing 5 yards outside the big D.
And a great puck out from Ever Quilligan, lands right outside, comes out looking for Oisin Donlan. Stevie Conway trying to get, and a pull back on Stevie Conway there by Rory McNamara. I don't know, it was of the softer variety again, David.
It probably was, but you can just see how hard Clooney are working as well. Both teams, even though they have an extra man, both teams are working extremely hard. Clooney's wing half forward line, all working back, and Peter and Ryan Taylor were under that puck out.
Yeah, and a free for Shane McGrath, an important free for Shane McGrath. Feakle would need a scoreline to give them a bit of momentum as we go into the second half of the second half here. The second period of the second half. Here comes into the fourth quarter maybe, and here comes Shane McGrath, 45 yards out from the Clooney goal. As Keith Hogan defending the town goals, and McGrath perfect straight and through for Feakle, brings it back to a 5-point lead. Feakle 2 goals and 15 points, Clooney 16 points, and here comes Keith Hogan with the puck out. I see Peter Duggan with the hands up looking for it. He wants it directly down the middle. Peter Duggan and Con Smith is doing well. He breaks it away from him, but that's great skill from Duggan. But I tell you, Smith is sticking doggedly to his task, and the ball comes out to Taylor. Here comes Taylor, shoots off his right hand side, and the ball is going to go in, and it's gone to the left hand side out in front of the umpire John Cooney, and gone wide. And Ever Quilligan, you could hear him calling for that up in Island Feakle, and the puck out here coming from Ever Quilligan in no particular hurry. Feakle in the ascendancy by 5 points. This game here on, hope you're all enjoying the game here on ClareGAA TV in association with Dowd Media. And here comes Ever Quilligan trying to isolate, looking for Oisin Donlan again, but the ball is blocked out to Duggan. Duggan goes up with the hand, but is beaten away from him by Con Smith, and the ball comes to Noonan, the hard working in the Noonan, and here come Noonan being harried there by Ryan Taylor, and he pulls with one hand, but the ball comes into Harrison. As David said, Harrison now back playing the sweeper, gets the ball out to Donegal Murphy. Here comes Donegal with his swashbuckling style, clears that ball straight down the middle, looking for Duggan, and pushing it back there by Martin Duggan. well spotted on Eric Conway. And indeed, David, the high ball into the Feakle defence. Here it comes again, David.
Yeah, it was a push in the back. Evan McMahon doing great there, getting out in front of Cillian Duggan this time, and Cillian just pushed him in the back. A soft free to give away, especially when the ball is down at your own 21, gives a chance for Ever Quilligan now to puck the ball back into the Clooney half of the field.
And he does that with a plum, David, and the ball comes down looking for, he's down on top of Peter Duggan and Smith. Duggan blocking the ball down with one hand. It comes to Brian McInerney for Clooney coming out. Invariably Clooney and Feakle bring out the best of one another. The ball down towards Rowan O'Donnell. O'Donnell trying to keep the ball in play. Indeed, the ball defeats Rowan O'Donnell. James Noonan sticking dogged to his class. And indeed, looking at the breaks, David, they're starting to go Feakle's way.
They are indeed. And it's still a 5-point game. So it's still all to play for, and this game won't be won or lost until the last 5 minutes.
And indeed, the last time when Dees played in the championship down in Shannon, as the boy said at half time, it went down to the wire, and he took a couple of exquisite pieces of skill from frees off the ground by Feakle Lynch to using his improvisation to bring Clooney back in the game. Great line ball from Guilfoyle, but it comes to Ryan Taylor, but the ball comes back out to Guilfoyle, who has played the sweeper role well. The ball sticks in the ground. Taylor, the Feakle try to get bodies. Ron O'Donnell in there, and the ball goes out over the line. It's going to be line ball for Clooney, and I would imagine they'll leave this to the expertise of Peter Duggan. 2 goals and 15 points for Feakle. Clooney 16 points, 18 minutes gone here in the second half in Cusack Park. Here comes Peter Duggan, about 50 metres out from the Feakle goal.
He will go for this. He'll go for it.
And it's in around the danger area. And Ever Quilligan, I tell you one thing, he had to tip that one over the bar. That was dipping viciously, David.
Yeah, that's exactly this place in the field that Peter Duggan practices every day when he's at Clare training. He's always out an hour early for training, and he just loves sidelines from this side of the field going into the alley goal.
2 goals and 15 for Feakle, 17 points now for Clooney Quinn, courtesy of that line ball from Peter Duggan, and the ball goes out to Duggan and Smith. That's a great patch by Con Smith. He gets the ball back to Oisin Donlan. Some of the Feakle bodies beginning to tire. Donica Murphy gets it to Harrison opens the shoulders and gets the ball, looking for Martin Duggan. Great block down by Eric Conway. Cillian Duggan comes out in full forward position. Cillian, who's been quieter in the second half, what's he going to do? He comes out from McMahon. But that's great pass from out to Ryan Taylor. There's a couple of lads down on the ground there. Here comes Taylor. He goes around Killian Bain. A shot from Taylor. A goal for Clooney. A goal for Clooney from the stick of Ryan Taylor. And maybe a small bit disappointed, David, he didn't do better on that one.
He might be, but I think Killian Bain could be in trouble here when Ryan Taylor got away from him. I'm not too sure. We might see a replay of it. Yeah, we'll see the replay here. Look at Killian Bain here. He just, I don't know, it was an awkward kind of throw to Hurley. No, he might be okay. I thought it was worse than first viewing.
But indeed, it was a vicious shot from Taylor, and it bounced up in front of Ever Quilligan. In fairness, it's the hardest ball for a goalkeeper to stop, and he just bounced. Ever really didn't have much of a chance. It turned out, it looked in the replay, but Eric Conway and Martin Duggan were getting to know one another quite well. But in fairness to O'Brien, the referee, while the game was going on, he let the two boys work away for whatever they were at, and then comes out when the goal has gone in and gives them 2 yellow cards. We're down to the bare minimum. Feakle 2 goals and 15, Clooney 1 goal and 17. A very good game, David.
It is indeed, and it's only the intrigue is massive. I think that could have been experienced by Martin Duggan. He got pulled down to the ground probably first, but he made sure that he was holding Eric Conway, and he wasn't laying up, and he just created that bit of extra space. He didn't let that Eric Conway to cover that defence. And
the ball in from Ryan Taylor, in on top of Cillian Duggan. I thought myself that came off the stick of Evan McMahon. But indeed, the umpire has waved it wide, and Feakle steadied in since 10 minutes to go here in an eagerly contested senior championship game. Whoever wins this game goes into the quarter-final. Whoever loses goes on holidays until next year. And the puck out from Ever Quilligan, out towards Stevie Conway. A great catch from Conway, but he loses the ball. Is it to Brian McInerney? And here comes the midfielder, James Curry with a lyric ball in on top of Duggan, and the ball goes in over the head of Evan McMahon and Curry and Cillian Duggan and Ever Quilligan. Nonchalantly gets the ball out to Owen Toohey. Here comes Owen. He launched it for Feakle. Owen maybe at half back, so he gets the ball down, but the ball blocks down to Inda Noonan. Here comes Inda Noonan. Inda Noonan pops a lovely ball off to McGrath, beaten by Brian McInerney. McInerney missed the ball. Shane McGrath loses out the ball, but here comes out the midfielder. Out comes here the midfielder is Michael McNamara, and Michael McNamara has been fouled by Shane McGrath. And indeed, Clooney, David, we're hitting into the final stretch here. Clooney beginning to up their NT a good bit.
They are indeed. I think that full forward line, Clooney's full forward line, they're getting a lot of space. Peter Duggan's been man-marked by Con Smith. Peter Duggan's not playing centre forward, he's playing in his own half-back line. That's just creating a massive channel down the middle of the field. And if they keep running the ball, there's space down there, they will get another goal chance. Free from Peter inside his own 65 and straight over the bar. An arrow free.
Yeah, indeed, a marvellous strike from the from the stick of Peter Duggan. We're level pegging in Cusack Park. As with 8 minutes left to go on the clock. It's 2 goals and 15 for the men from Feakle. 1 goal and 18 for the men from Clooney Quinn. Clooney Quinn, who were in the county final a number of years ago, beaten by 6 Mile Bridge after a replay. Feakle, who have been in the county finals in the late 80s, and the ball comes out to Murphy. And Clooney beginning to up the empty heels. Here comes Murphy in front of the stand. Pops a pass off to Taylor. Taylor, a great pass off to O'Donnell. Is O'Donnell going to put Clooney in the lead? That's a marvellous score from the men from Clooney Quinn. Worked up, great play by Donica Murphy. Out to Ryan Taylor. And Taylor having a big influence in the second half, David.
Exactly, that's what Clooney still need to do though. They need to work the ball, they have that extra man. And there was a great score by Ronan O'Donnell and a great puck out by Aver straight to Stevie Conway. And that's a super catch from the puck out. Took his man on, off his left, straight over the bar.
Yeah, 2 goals and 16 to 119. 2 of the scores of the game. 1 from O'Donnell and 1 from Conway. Conway playing well, O'Donnell playing well. A great game here in Cusack Park. The puck out from Hogan. He goes long with this one. Going down to O'Donnell and the ball breaks out to Owen Toohey. Owen Toohey gives it to Con Smith, and Con Smith looks for the men. One man that was in Chicago a number of years ago. Aver does well. Gets the ball out to Eric Conway. Here comes Eric. Eric isn't going to mess around with it. He hits across the ball. Here comes technician. Gets the ball out to his cousin. Out to Eric. Out to Stevie, and the ball comes, but it comes out to the midfielder. The midfielder is Curry. This man beginning to have a big influence in the game. James Curry. Curry with a direct ball. This is a dangerous ball. In on top of Killian Duggan. And the goalkeeper, Ever Quilligan, does well. Evan McMahon does well. And I would imagine, I thought John Clooney, I would have given a wide ball in that. Okay.
I don't think the umpires actually knew what it was. The last time they gave a wide ball, and this time it just seems to even it up to give a 65. I think Ava shouldn't have probably came out and tried to contest that ball. There was 2 men under it. Ava made it the 3rd man under it, and that could have went anywhere.
Yeah, indeed, it was a hard decision for the goalie to make. If the ball broke, he was going to be in trouble. I thought, but the ball is out for a 65, and it gives Peter Duggan a chance to put Clooney back into the lead. But Evan McMahon, the staunch fullback for Feakle, has picked up an injury. He's down receiving attention, and Feakle will need Evan McMahon back to full fitness sooner rather than later. We're level pegging here in a keenly contested senior championship round 3 game. As we said, the winners go into the quarter final and to join the likes of Erogue and Bellier, who came through from earlier rounds today. Here's it with 24. Here comes Peter Duggan from the 65. Peter Nanchley strikes this one. Is there a tail in it? The umpires, right. I see Mousy Mac there, the eagle-eyed Mousy Mac down there was well able to spot it from the far side. Mousy, a goalie from great goal, Clare goalie from past as well. The puck out goes out to Shane McGrath. Shane McGrath being dragged to the ground there by Brian McInerney, but good play by McGrath. He knew what he was doing. He bought the free, David.
He did indeed, and I think Feakle needed that. Just before that puck out, Clooney made a small tactical change to put over Donica Murphy on Stevie Conway. They kind of seen that Conway won the last puck out. He's got a few nice scores today, and they're just trying to calm that influence that he's having on the game. And Donica Murphy is the man chosen to try and do that. Yeah,
and indeed Donica has picked up a leg injury as well and is moving around rather gingerly. Here's a free just outside the Clooney 65 from Shane McGrath. Shane McGrath, who has been a prolific free taker for Feakle over a long number of years, playing well today. McGrath strikes it, doesn't strike it as well, but strikes it. It's going to drop. Ben tries to keep it in. Feakle Lynch, and Ben hits it across. A shot. Austin McMahon, and here comes Inda Noonan. A goal for Feakle off the stick of Inda Noonan. And what a game changer that. Here it is again, David.
Yeah, it was a big scrappy goal. The free was not struck properly. It dropped short, and Keith Hogan pucked the ball straight down. Now the ball plays back on. Comes to Peter Duggan, and he probably gets fouled. Yes, a high tackle around the neck when Peter didn't even have the ball. He was only trying to rise it.
Yeah, free given away by James Noonan, but the goal, what play by Ben. I tell you, Ben, the full forward, has caused consternation every time that has gone into the full back line. He used his football skills. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he played a bit of soccer in his time with Tulla United. Maybe you've been out there in the Craig in that time, David, you might have missing, but Ben flicked it across. Austin McMahon was alive to the situation. He didn't let the ball be cleared, and in the Noonan. An unsung hero for Feakle today here in Cusack Park. A goal and 2 points. And Peter Duggan.
Blocked down.
Peter's free is blocked down. Blocked down by Gary Guilfoyle, and the ball
Great
is with Duggan, but Duggan wins the ball back. Here comes Duggan. A pop pass off to Killian Duggan. Here comes Duggan. He's bearing down and goal. A shot coming across. Out to O'Donnell. A shot for O'Donnell. Oh, and it goes over the bar, and a chance. 3 goals and 16 points for Feakle. 1 goal and 20 for the mid from Clooney Quinn. That was a chance to equalise, David.
It was indeed, and Ronan Donald had his hands on his head straight after the shot. He knew there was a big goal chance there. Again, he's inside the rectangle. That has to go low. It has to be low. Just going back to Feakle's goal, it was great work by Raymond Bann. He never gave up. Fergal Lynch was trying to keep the ball or let the ball go wide, and Raymond Bann just kept fighting and got the foot to kick it across the goal.
And the puck out from Evan Quilligan goes out. Can Feakle win this ball? The ball comes to the centre back. The centre back is Shane McNamara. Shane McNamara being hooked there by Austin McMahon. And the ball breaks out to McGrath. McGrath being beaten by Ryan Taylor. Taylor has a good second half here for Clooney. And here comes Taylor. Gets this ball up in the corner. Looking for Killian Duggan. The ball goes over top. Duggan. And he's going to be chased by Evan McMahon. But the technician from Aircom gives it out to Evan McMahon, and 2 he for Feakle, and 2 he launches it for Feakle down on top of Stevie Conway doing it. What a catch. What a catch out to Inda Noonan. Here comes Noonan. Inda Noonan goes striking off his right hand side. He opens up the play looking for the danger man Ben. Ben is swinging. Fergal Lynch is all over him and thought he might have fouled him, and the ball comes out to James Curry. Here comes Curry, the busy midfielder. A great ball from Curry, looking down into the corner, looking for Michael Curry being pulled back by James Noonan. Here comes Michael Curry. Curry bearing down in goals. I tell you, he carried a lot of steps there.
He did, but just before he offloaded the ball, he got a nasty old tackle. One of the Feakle defenders just pulled across him. Raymond Bann's down injured at the other side of the field. Hopefully he'll be okay, because he's having a great game.
Yeah, indeed.
It looks like he's in trouble here, doesn't it?
Yeah, he seems to be right in the neck and knee down there. There's no doubt about it. Michael Curry was running through, and I thought Michael had overcarried, but there was a loose belt there that maybe should have been dealt with by referee Neil O'Brien. But it's play on. It's Feakle. 3 goals and 16 points to 1 goal and 20 for Clooney. Donncha Murphy, who had picked up a leg injury only moments before, now it seems to be in a bit of bother. Is Donncha going to have to leave the scene? Donncha has had a very good game for Clooney. The clock is now gone into 29 minutes left. There will be injury time played here in Cusack Park as Raymond Bain, who has also picked up an injury. So as Luke Harrison is the man that's coming on. Luke Harrison is going to come on into the back line for Clooney in place of Donncha Murphy. Is Luke who's going to be, and now Shane McNamara has been given the job of picking up the very dangerous Stevie Conway. Our Feakle are in the 3 goals and 16 points. That's 25 points. 1 goal and 20 for Clooney. That's 23. 2 points of a lead for Feakle. We're now going into 29 and a half minutes, and Raymond Bain, I think Raymond is fit to take up his position, and I see Feakle Donlan is being introduced for Feakle. Who's Feakle coming on instead of Feakle, a brother of the team captain Oisin, and indeed it's Austin McMahon. The hard-working Austin McMahon, who has left everything on the field, played a vital part there in getting that third goal over the line. And I see Colm Nocton also warming up, I see. And here comes Ava Quilligan with this free. We're now gone into injury time. We're now going to be in the hands of Neil O'Brien. Ava Quilligan pucks this ball out over to the far side of the field here from our comedy position. Out towards Stevie Conway, and the ball is caught by Shane McNamara. And Shane McNamara gets away, gets tackled by Stevie Conway. And the ball, Feakle, I tell you, they're working ravenously down there on the far sideline. Feakle Donlan in there for Feakle. But the ball comes out, and here comes Clooney breaking out. The ball comes out to Curry. Curry impresses this man. He's done a lot of work. Gets the ball out to Duggan, and the ball is flicked away there by Gary Guilfoyle. And Guilfoyle has worked very hard for Feakle. 5 minutes injury time, 5 minutes at a time, going to be called by the referee Neil O'Brien. So here's Peter Duggan. Is this going to bring back to the minimum? Feakle in the ascendancy by 316 to 120. That's 2 points. Peter Duggan with a free 10 metres in from the far sideline. And here comes Peter striking this one. Strikes at this one. This is a low one in towards Killian Duggan. And the ball. And there a strange decision from Peter Duggan, David.
Yeah, I think he just didn't hit it. He didn't hit it right. He had his hands in his head after the free straight away before the ball was even inside the full forward line. He just knew that he didn't connect with it right. Feakle's still up by 2 points. Who won that free, James Curry, I think. The great work burst out through a tackle and tried to offload it to Peter. Oisin Donlan with a great catch from the puck out.
And Donlan with the catch into Bain. Bain on a 1-on-1 with Fergal Lynch. They don't know where it is. And a free in, a foul on Bain. And I tell you one thing, David, really, Raymond Bain has been another great hero. He has contested every ball. He's like the lone striker up there. Any ball goes in, and he has made it a very, very difficult afternoon for the Clooney defence and for Feakle Lynch.
He has indeed. It was just great work there. He went up contested with Feakle Lynch, and that was okay. The ball broke just behind him. Neither of them knew where the ball was, and I think Feakle might have thought that Raymond Bain had it in his hand, because he just kept hold of him, and there was no need. Silly free to give away.
And a free which should be a free, an easy tap over, a free, if any free is an easy tap over here in any championship game. And McGrath, Nancy, he drives it in, he nearly drives up as fell as the Queen's car park here. It's 32 minutes gone. It's 3 goals and 17 points to 1 goal and 20. Are Clooney Quinn going to need a goal, or will they be able to pull back 3 points? I see Colm Nocton, and indeed Feakle are taken off the same men, Raymond Bain. I think Feakle think maybe that Raymond is a spin force at the moment, and he's replaced by Colm Nocton. Nocton, no stranger to playing full forward also. Another great servant of Feakle hurling, and a puck out going to come from the Clooney goalkeeper, Keith Hogan. Indeed, is there a
no, Raymond Bain is staying on. I think there's a blood sub, and Shane McGrath's just after leaving the field. He must be bleeding from his head. And the physio is going to be kept busy. Just a nick across the nose. A quick puck out to Shane McNamara. The ball went out over sideline. Now Feakle have possession of the ball with it for a sideline.
Yeah, and the puck out from Keith Hogan, he definitely overhit that one, a bit of adrenaline there, and he pucked it out over the head of Shane McNamara, and that's music to the ears of the Feakle people as we hit into 33 minutes gone here. 3 goals and 17 points to 1 goal and 20. Feakle playing with 14 men following the red card of Gerard Hanrahan, but indeed you often find, David, that when you get a man sent off, that the team's performance ups, their performance level ups considerably.
You do it indeed, and I suppose you kind of seen that even in inter-county or the All-Ireland semi-final between Tipperary and Wexford, when John McGrath got sent off. Tip just upped their game completely. And the ball up from Shane McGrath hits up to Conor Harrison. Conor Harrison down towards Killian Duggan. Duggan who had a major influence in the first half. But I tell you one thing, Evan McMahon is having some second half here for Feakle. And he clears that ball down. And they're going to look for Nocton. Oh, a great catch by the sub by Colm Nocton. He gets it to Noonan. Noonan just throws it up. I think the legs are gone and into Noonan. But here's Colm Nocton. Nocton with a strange ball in. But he gets it into the hands of Keith Hogan. And Hogan gets it out to Corrie. Feakle would have liked that ball to go dead. Here comes James Corrie, and there's no doubt this is going to land in around the Carnoiga. James gets that ball in. Is it going to beat Killian Duggan? It does beat Killian Duggan and beats Evan McMahon. And Ever Quilligan, you could hear him calling for that ball anywhere, I said, and he's going to play down the clock here. 34 minutes gone, and here comes that high ball in again, David. Yeah, that's disappointing from James. Now he was free and he just overcooked it, went out straight away for a goalie's puck out. It was poor decision by James.
And here comes Ever Quilligan, whose penalty save in the first half is going to prove crucial. And the ball out to Donlan. Donlan blocks it down. Out to Noonan. Noonan has worked out. Here's Nocton. Nocton has played well since he came out, but he's after hitting another ball into the goal. He's Keith Hogan. I tell you, Keith Hogan, I thought he had blocked it into the goals. And stranger things can happen from what could be a goal at one end. What's going to be at the other end? It's the last chance saloon for Clooney. And the ball blocks out, but the ball comes out. Is it 0-2? He gets it out for Feakle. The ball, here come Clooney trying to make a breakthrough. Ryan Taylor is out loose. And a free in for Clooney, and we're in Peter Duggan territory, David.
Yeah, most definitely. It's from the 21 straight in front of the goal. Peter Duggan will be going for goal. It'll be 5 minutes on the line. This is drama. Literally, I'd say 35 minutes and 20 seconds gone. Could be the last puck of the game. Will Peter send us into extra time?
Yeah, indeed. I see Sean Steck and going in to tell Peter Duggan, no better man to tell Peter Duggan to see John too. He's trying to organise his defence. He wants bodies back in the goals. See Gary Gilfile, Shane McGrath. But I tell you one thing, if Peter Duggan strikes the ball well, you could have as many men in the goals and it still make no difference. But this one is to keep Clooney in the senior championship for 2019. It's 3 goals and 17 from the men from Feakle. That's 26 points. 1 goal and 20 for Clooney. That's 23. 3 points of a difference. Here's Peter Duggan. I tell you, he got a lot of score. Here he comes. It's going to keep Clooney in the championship. We're gone in over the allotted added time. Here, are we going to go to extra time? And are Feakle going through to the quarter final of the championship?
There's a Feakle selector blessing himself here down the sideline.
I tell you, it does a lot less blessing himself. Here comes Duggan. He strikes it, and he strikes it over the bar. He has struck some of his frees by Peter Duggan's standards quite poorly today in the second half, even though he's had a massive performance. 3-17 to 1 goal and 21, and it's David Reedy, it's Feakle who advanced to the quarter final of the Senior Hurling Championship for 2019, and David Reedy fully deserving of their victory.
Yeah, most definitely. even after the 14 men, when Feakle, that's when Feakle started really working hard. It's been an impressive performance by Feakle. The work rate they showed. I suppose they didn't score at times in the second half for a good 10-minute period, but they kind of held Clooney, and that's what you need to be doing when you're not scoring. You need your defence to hold up, and that's exactly what Feakle did, and the goals, they proved vital, didn't they?
In fairness, the goal, and Michael Curry, the cameraman off here, said goals win matches, goals are the difference, there's no doubt about it. But I tell you one thing, Clooney, in fairness, I see Peter Duggan gracious in defeat, but what a win for Feakle. You know, many people didn't give him a chance, they were down players, but in fairness, the medical staff, they worked miracles to get all their players back on the field to play, to get a full, you know. And we think of the likes of Martin Daly and Justin Nelson, who are missing for Feakle today due to cruciate injuries, and we wish both of them well in their recovery. But in fairness, the panel of players that are out there today, and all credit due to the management and all the players out there for the effort they're given. And we go down to a joyous captain on down there, Sean Chaplin. He's speaking to Oisin Donlan.
Thanks, Leo. Yeah, I'm joined here by Feakle captain Oisin Donlan. Oisin, first of all, congratulations on your victory. A hard, tough game, but you've come through in the end.
Yeah, it was down to the wire there. You saw there with Peter, like, you know, I full sure was going in. I thought it was going to take extra time, but that's probably 1 out of 20 he misses, like, you know, it normally doesn't happen, but we're just see what that means to us, like, you know, we're down 2 lads that started the intermediate final last year. Now we've James Owen and Stephen Conway back in there that were missing the last day. It just means the world, like, you know, small little panel. It was great, like, you know. Now we're into quarter final now, so I have to fucking put the head down now for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I suppose early in the second half you were well on top, but Clooney were never going to go away. They came back, they dug in, they got back level. You got the goal there then, and as you say, right, even down to the last puck, we didn't know whether we'd be here for another half an hour or not. It was just a ding-dong battle that went the whole way to the end.
Yeah, it's just today now we got the breaks. You saw there with the goals, like, coming, we didn't, you know, another day that'd fucking just go wide, and everyone's saying, Jesus, Shane missed the free, but, you know, we're just delighted now to be in the quarter final. Just go back there 2 years ago, like, we had the fucking game won, and we just lost it, like, you know. We were too immature back then, I think, and it's good to see now we've learned our lessons.
I suppose it's been a long road for you over the last 2 years. You were, I suppose, suffered the relegation 2 years ago, came back up through intermediate last year, all the way to the Munster final, and now you're back in the quarter final. So huge progress year on year after the disappointment of 2 years ago.
Yeah, just goes so.
Yeah, for a minute, yeah.
It happened us there 3 years ago with Ballier, when we just lost by 3 points in the semi-final, like, you know. Once again on a run, momentum is everything, like, so we're just looking forward now to the next day.
And at this stage of the year, anything is possible. You're in the quarter final now, so it's just a matter of put the head down, prepare for the next 2 weeks, see who you get on Monday night, and see where it takes you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now we'll go out now and we'll enjoy tonight, and we'll knuckle down now next week, get back to the drawing board.
Oisin, thanks very much for your time, and congratulations on the victory today, and hopefully we'll see you throughout the year. Back to you, Leo.
Feakle lads on a great victory. Apologies there from Oisin, maybe a bit over exuberance. He brought in a couple of the foreign language words. But David, again, looking back on the highlights of the game, and there's no doubt about it that one of the big turning points of the game was the save by Eva Quilligan from Peter Duggan in the first half.
Over 10, you'd back Peter Duggan to stick it, but great credit due to Eva Quilligan. This is the block, isn't it? That's great defending. Like, they're down to 14 men there, and great covering defence from Feakle, rushing back from their own 45. Got a block in on Ron O'Donnell. But yes, back to the save for the penalty. Aver, super save, down to his weaker side, down low, dived full length of the goal and put out for 65.
Yeah, indeed. We also, the goal, Shane McGrath got a goal. Raymond Bain, who had a brilliant game at full forward, got a goal. And then we had the red card from Gerard Hanrahan. And I suppose TC is one of the talking points of the game. And as it looked, he was very irate as he went off.
Yeah, you can just see it again here now. Gerard wasn't happy when he got the red card. He didn't feel that it was deserving to be sent off. And you could see that when he was fighting, or he was talking to the referee, the far linesman, and then even when he was off the field on this near side near the change rooms, he was complaining again. He was asking why was he sent off, and he's not happy.
And here it is again, Peter going through, and you know, as many times as you look at it, David, it's still inconclusive there, you know, to see what happened, and you can see why Hanrahan would have been quite irate. But having said that, Feakle really upped their game and upped their intensity, and just this, we're going to do this for Hanrahan, and I suppose thinking the two boys that are injured as well, and they upped their ante, and you know, Feakle, they're a proud East Clare team, and I tell you one thing, they brought all the tradition out to bear there today.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be with that performance? I think Oisin Donlan mentioned the maturity of the team, that there might have been they weren't mature enough 2 years ago, but by God, has he been captain, and the rest of the team, and I suppose the rest of the parish, have they got their maturity right? And great performance, great workman-like performance.
Yeah, and indeed, you could see the joy. It was like coming out of Sunday mess there at Feakle. There's so many Feakle people out on the field there congregating after the game. It just shows what it means to them. A tremendous victory. Disappointing for Clooney. They were in the county final 2 years ago. They were warm favourites going into today's game. You know, Feakle were never going to let them off lightly, and it's not a tag that they carried well, and they'll be very disappointed in Clooney tonight.
They will indeed, especially after their highlights, I suppose, 2 years ago, or when they got to the county final, and there is a championship in them. But great back to Feakle, like, great credit to them. Clooney threw everything they had at them.
Yeah, indeed, and Clooney to Everton, and he came down to the last puck of the game from Peter Duggan. He went for the goal. It was either in or out, and he betted the ball over the bar. So here comes Ryan Taylor. Here's the goal from Ryan Taylor, you know, which could have been a game changer. He brought Clooney back in the game.
I think from straight away there was a great response from Feakle from that puck out. Puck out went straight down to the right hand side to Stevie Conway. He caught the ball, turned his man, and got a great shot off over the bar on off his left.
And indeed, there was a number of great individual performances out there from both sides. And who in particular stood out for you, David?
Con Smith did a fantastic job on Peter. Peter's always going to get 3-4 points at least from play, and Con Smith followed him everywhere. When he went back into his own half back line, Con Smith was there. He didn't mind leaving the big gap in through the middle. Con Smith followed him, and he did great work there. Raymond Ben as well, great mention to him. He was fantastic. Even for the goal, the work rate he put in for the goal, he never gave up. The ball looked like it was going out for a puck out, but he kept there, kept tackling away, and he got a foot to the ball, put it across the goals, and the whole Feakle half forward line was running in, and they grabbed the goal. Yeah, indeed. Inda Noonan is the man that'll take the credit for the final. Inda Noonan with 1-2, and I suppose Inda Noonan doesn't often score that much. He's an unsung hero, a goal and 2 points. But in Feakle tonight, there's many heroes in Feakle tonight as they march in to the quarter final of the Senior Championship, defeating Clooney here in Cusack Park by 3 goals and 17 points to 1 goal and 21. My thanks to analyst David Reedy for his part here in his analysis, spot on here on ClareGAA TV. So as we take our leave from Cusack Park here on ClareGAA TV in association with Dowd, our media partners, Dowd Media, it's Feakle who march into the quarterfinals 3-17 to 1 goal and 21. From media, thanks also to Sean Chaplin, Seamus Hayes, and during for their introduction and their interviews at half time and after. So all that remains is from Cusack Park, it's Bannock Day, August Lawn.